Hi guys, this is Peepers, and I just wanted to give you a quick introduction on bees, specifically in the Agrarian Skies mod pack. On the servers that I do play on, I get a lot of questions about how to get started with bees because it is an especially daunting task to someone who has no experience with it. So hopefully this quick tutorial will shed some light on any questions you might have. Before you start this, I would recommend that you've progressed into automated materials processing and a relatively stable power source, as you're going to need some power in order for this to work. So to get started, we're going to get some bees first. These hives are typically, you can find them in a lot of reward bags. So if you're lucky and you do get a reward bag with hives in it, then you're basically set to start with bees. In order to get the bees from the hives, you need to make a scoop and then you break them. So these bees, the meadows and the forest, are the cornerstones behind bee breeding. You really need these bees to start off with, which is why I started with them. So now we're going to move on to the basic machine associated with bees, which is the apiary. In apiary, you can put a princess and a drone in, and it'll create a queen once this bar goes up. The queen, while it's running, this is his lifespan bar. When it goes all the way down to here, the queen will die and produce a princess, drones, and then some honeycombs on the side. In order for this to run well, you need it to have an open air. It needs to be daytime, it can't be raining, and it needs to have a flower. The type of flower that is required varies on the queen species. So just make sure to look that, or I'll expand on that in future tutorials. Oh, and there's the rain. Oh boy. Oh. Okay, so now that I've been trolled by that, what are you doing? Okay, here we go. So now we're gonna get into gendistry. Gendistry is a very easy way to get mutations in your bee in order to create different species. Different species create different types of combs, which end up being different materials. Like you can get a redstone bee, you can get a diamond bee, an emerald bee, basically any bee that can process anything you can make. Its mutation tree will differ, and gendistry is a mod and it will make it a lot easier. So to get started with gendistry, you want to make a couple of machines. First of all, the mutagen producer and the mutatron. This is where you're going to need a stable power source for, because these machines do take up a lot of power. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. The mutatron producer takes power and glowstone or redstone blocks, and in this process it will create a mutation liquid. What's that called again? Mutagen. And this mutagen will be used in order to mutate different bee species immediately. So let's say, I'm just going to grab some bees over here, a meadows and a forest. If you look in NEI, the way to make a common bee is a meadows and a forest. So we're going to do that. We need some labware in here. And once this has given me a bucket, I will be able to mutate the forest and the meadows drone into a common bee. So you'll notice that this requires a princess or queen and a drone in order for this to work. And then once it gets enough mutagen, which it doesn't have, I'll just cut until it gets enough mutagen. Okay, so now as you can see, the process is quickly going. This is the main part of this mod that I really enjoy. It makes it really easy to get started. So now we're left with a common queen. And yeah, that just mutated it really quickly. So now I just want to get into industrial apiaries. These are the more advanced version of this, which is running strongly. The only downside is that they do require power, but the upside is insane. You can add all of these upgrades at the expense of more energy consumption that will make things a lot easier for bees in general. I'm just going to grab all this stuff out of here. So the industrial apiary works the exact same way as the regular apiary, except that it does require power. So in order to do that, I'm going to cheat a little bit, just put a creative energy cell there. So because a queen is the combination of a princess and a drone, we could just put that in there. And right now you can see there's no air. but I want to add some upgrades. A production upgrade, as you can see, will increase the production by 20% and energy consumption by 20% per upgrade. So I want to add that. The seal upgrade will make it run during rain. The automation upgrade will allow the outputs such as extra drones, extra princesses, or extra combs, and it will throw them into here, which can be pumped out into an inventory, which I'll do now. There we go. So now anything that we have there will work. And I did forget a flower. I'm just going to take this one. And it's running smoothly, as you can see up here. Sometimes it takes a little refresh, and there's no error. And then finally, the light upgrade will make it run during night. So this is a basic tutorial on how to get started with bees. If I missed something or you want a topic expanded upon or for future topics, just let me know in the comments. I really do want to try to help people with this series because it is a pretty complicated topic to get started with, and it is really rewarding once you do learn. On one of my servers, I have a redstone bee farm, which, as you know, in Agrarian skies, redstone is always like the limiting factor in anything. And I left it on overnight with the chunk loader on, and I got 33,000 redstone the next morning, and I have no idea what to do with it all. So bees are an extremely useful thing to know, and it's just one of my favorite parts of Agrarian Skies. So if this helped you, leave a comment, leave a like. I hope you enjoyed. Bye, guys.